So this could be your first introduction to the 4300 Sports Express. So this video is going to be about what a day can look like on board this boat and how it's going to work operationally for you.
Let's get moving.
Let's do it. I'll follow you with the drone. And you do a little bit extra displacement, allows control. We're clear for traffic at the moment, Dean.
Pardon?
We're clear on traffic.
Perfect, thank you.
All clear on starboard. So we have a bow thruster, but you didn't need to use it then, Dean, did you?
No, we were just using the aft cockpit joystick.
Yeah. And we've got a bit of wind. There's some wind blowing from the northwest. It was trying to funnel through here and send your bow to starboard a little, but because the joystick is in that position, you just recovered it.
Yeah.
Do you have a bow thruster control at that wing station?
No bow thruster controller here.
Yep.
But there is one up at the main helm.
Yep, not really necessary though for what we're trying to achieve.
No, so I've just put it into assisted docking dynamic positioning system now.
Okay. So now you can recover the lines and fenders.
Yep.
That's a good place because you can still reach that locker there. It's not so deep like the other one for retrieving lines. In terms of fender storage, what spots are you favouring so far?
Fender storage.
On this boat?
Starboard bow locker.
Okay.
Anchor locker, starboard side.
Yep.
There's a good spot. Nice and deep. Good volume.
That Sea-Doo locker might even be useful for if you're in Europe and you need extra fenders.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of space in there as well.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be for not a Sea-Doo, you know what, those electric things. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Dean's just going forward. And that's the starboard bow, because that's the deeper one, which we already had a look at in the walkthrough. So for Australian, American style berthing, where we have finger wharfs, that's probably all you need. But for European style berthing, where you're going to need extra fenders, because you've got to go down both port and starboard, there's this extra locker here. If you haven't got a little electric toy in it, might actually be a convenient place for you. So that's it's an interesting observation. Excellent.
All right.
So transitioning from wing station to primary helm should just be press of a button. And as you can see, we actually haven't. I can see our position relative to the fixed pole there and the moored boats. We have not moved. Excellent. Let's go drive this boat in the ocean. Okay, we're straight out in the ocean, guys, and I'm just going to bring the boat straight up through the rev range, and we're just going to drive comfortably and safely. This is not about a speed test or really fuel flow data for that matter, although I may refer to it from time to time, because what we're testing right now is her motion through the ocean. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day for it because we have decent swells. Currently running from a northeasterly direction, although we have a slightly offshore wind today, more like of a northwest
10 to 15 knots, but the wind has been blowing from the other direction, and we've got a nice onshore swell today. So just seeing 18, 19 knots. I'm going to speed that up a little bit, and I'm going mostly with the swell at the moment, and I'll be going across it fairly shortly. Just seeing 3,050 RPM. I've got the Volvo trim on this one, and everything's on auto, and I'm just going to sit down and enjoy the ride. Okay, 22 knots. We've got no stabilization on this boat. I got my windscreen wipers where they basically always are on the Rivieras. You can just reach down at a sensible position straight behind the throttle. So your throttle hand can do the throttles and straight back to the wipers. I'm maintaining 23 knots. I got relatively close wave period today. I didn't actually check the forecast, but I can just see with my eyes that this would be semi-uncomfortable for some people. And we are throwing plenty of water up, and I would expect that with the accommodation that we've got downstairs on this boat, as you would have seen in the previous video. You do need to have weather protection to fit that amount of accommodation downstairs. That is the compromise that you get when you are in the ocean. However, our comfort factor going down through these waves is quite predictable. It basically feels like all the bigger Rivieras, but a scaled down version, as one would expect. Okay, so just coming through at 25, 26, and now I'm going to change my angle of attack, and we'll take those swells on the beam for just a second. No stabilization on this boat, so no Seakeeper, so you're seeing what you see, and the roll, yeah, it's actually quite predictable because this is a sedan vessel. We don't have too much weight aloft. Look at that, just rolling through that one. Not too much rock and roll. And these waves, they are in the meters at times. So now I'm just going to back off on the power, come through, and we'll go straight into these swells. And here's some big ones. Okay, hitting that at 21 knots and off the back of that. Nice. Nice. Okay, let's go wash. Beautiful. And I'm just going to go into a couple more. We're doing that at 20 knots. Straight into the waves. Obviously, you're going to be adjusting your speed for this, guys, just to be safe and secure. And we'll just do one more. Nice, short, sharp one. It's really only like a 3-second wave period for us at the moment. Obviously, I'm moving into them at speed. And now I'm going to veer away. Take those waves on the starboard bow. 17 knots now. I haven't really been looking at the fuel flow. I'm just focusing on the conditions around me. I don't want to accidentally not see some buoys in the water or people, for example. I love having these windscreen wipers right where I need them. No necessity at the moment to stand up, but I'll try it anyway. Yeah. Secure, I feel good. You know, you can also communicate super well with your guests with this particular layout. Everyone's involved. You've got slightly higher noise levels because we don't have the ability to close the door at the back, but it's not intrusive. You know, I'm not raising my voice to talk to you right now. And these waves, this is proper, short, sharp, over probably from 1 meter to 2 meters at times, and right now it's a meter or under. And we're just getting the odd big one, but she's just taking it like a champ. You could feel the thickness of these hulls because you don't have a lot of water, a lot of noise coming through the hull, vibrating up through the boat, like some thinner hulled boats or carbon fiber, for example, which is very noticeable when you're in offshore conditions. You can hear every single bang. Whereas on this one, here's a couple of good ones. Lovely. Oh man, this thing's a champ. Yep. You know, if it really chops up, I know you guys coming home from the Bahamas, you'll get similar conditions to this when you get that wind against the current. This is basically exactly the same sort of thing you could be confronted with. But here we are at 17.5 knots, burning 100 litres total fuel an hour. I'm actually just quite happy. And I could sit down again and relax and have this thing on autopilot and drink coffee. Not a problem. Excellent. Let's run a bit of a time pressure today because I'm trying to do 2 boats in one day. So let's veer away and head straight back through the bar. and do a speed and fuel flow test in the flat water, where I can give you some more accurate numbers on consumption when I'm able to draw my attention down to the gauges. See you in it. Guys, if my experience is going to help you choose the right boat for you, contact me on Manek. Link is down below in the description. That's the only way to get in touch. All right, guys, we're back in the inshore part of the waterway. Right now, we're not in the flat water part because this is semi-exposed to the sea just here. So we'll start the inshore part or piece of this in a second when we just get over to the other side. Plenty of surfers crossing the bar today, so lots of dangers around to pay attention to, but you've got great viz on this boat. Not too much bow raise, a little bit, but not too much that short Dan can't see, so that's all fine. Okay, so swapping, we now have green on the right, red on the left, and I'm going to stay inside the channel. I've got a dredge up ahead, the lagoon on my left, clear all ahead. I've got my fuel flow and my revs just here. I can see my engine loads on 90%, 90 to 88%. Let's just actually dial back on the speed to match some of the drone footage we started taking from here. And the drone footage is not going to be completely accurate because we were into the wind and I was really battling. We got a proper 15 knots, maybe a bit more at times. And so that knocks off a lot of my drone's capability in this direction, but it improves it in the other direction. So I'm sitting on 25 knots SOG. We are in a tidal zone, so we're going to run this in both directions. I got 147 litres an hour. We've got the IPS 650, so that's 480 horsepower. Leaving this green to the right, and then there's my next one, all clear. Nobody around me. I'm going to increase speed. Okay, from 25 knots and climbing at 3,500 revs. 27 knots. You can feel the power. The acceleration is noticeable. Remember, it's not a center console or an outboard powered boat, but she does have plenty of get up and go. So now at 187 litres consumption total, I'm seeing 29.9 and 30. 30 and 3,700 RPM. Let's push it a little bit more. Clear, clear, clear. Okay. You could easily sit down and drive and be comfortable. We're going into the wind of approximately 15 knots. I actually didn't check the tide, that's my bad, but I had a few things going on this morning. So let's just run to this marker. We're clear of the dredge and 30.5 knots at 189 litres consumption. That's probably all we're gonna get. Let's back off the speed and we're gonna turn around in the channel now. Clear of the dredge. Nobody coming up on me. I always check in these enclosed waterways, particularly these days with fast boats that we obviously test and use on the channel. You know, if someone's coming up behind you at 50 knots, these closing speeds, it's going to be noticeable. So you should always look first and then turn. Seems logical, but not to everyone. Okay, now we're going to be going with the wind. Let's increase our speed. We've got our waves, no stabilization on this boat. Clear, clear, clear. Accelerate. We've got the Volvo trim on auto, so I'm really not doing anything other than situational awareness, steering and driving with the throttles. Green on the right, green on the left, red on the right. Accelerate, 25 knots at 3,300 RPM, 157 litres consumption. Let's speed it up. 28 knots of climbing. I'm doing a slow acceleration on the throttle. I'm not one of those guys that just goes foot to the floor. It doesn't seem to make sense to me. 32 knots already at 188 litres consumption, 3,700 RPM with the wind, possibly the tide. Now that's foot to the floor. I'm seeing 33.7 and climbing. 33.9 and climbing, 34 knots. I've got 192 litres consumption, 100% load, 3,800 RPM. The boat is comfortable, controllable. She wavers a little bit at this top revs, so you want to back that off, put a bit more boat in the water or trim it down, and then you'll have a little bit more directional stability. But that is that's going to be pretty easy to control, to be fair, if you are not used to maneuvering a sedan family cruiser. There's nothing that worries me about this boat. So just coming off the plane there, we see our wash moving forward. Just checking back. I got a direct line of sight to my stern wave straight out the back there. You've got good connection with the water of this boat as well because of the open back. You can hear everything that's going on, and I feel like it just gives you an extra element of control. I love this sliding window. I'd be opening that up when I come into the marina or when I am dropping the anchor, which we're going to be doing very soon, and you're coming along for the ride. And this door makes life a lot better as well. Okay, so we've got divers in the water there. We may not be able to take that spot. I think we'll hop around the corner and find another spot.
Okay, so the performance feedback, got my notes, the quality, and also some competing boats that you may wish to do some homework on if you're doing some comparisons. So how does it feel compared to outboards? Completely different. So if this is your first time moving over to a sedan style, it's got a bit of oomph. It's got a bit of get up and go on acceleration, but it's a much bigger, more voluminous boat, and it's not going to be as sporty as some of the center consoles if that's the direction you have coming from. And the cruising speeds, as we discovered today, it's in those low 20s in the ocean. It's in the high 20s in the inshore part or flatter water, and we're topping out at about that 34 knots in perfect conditions, depending on your with your wind and tide conditions. Solo management, it's a piece of piss. With the right training, you know, we've got good fender storage forward and aft. We've got line storage in appropriate places. We've got access forward and aft from multiple locations, and we don't have to interrupt our guests should we need to, you know, go forward. We can just use this door on the port side. That's a real benefit when seconds count. You know, that's when design really matters, and having the IPS and being able to press the button and the boat holds position is an absolute game changer. If you've got 10 people on board and 5 of them noisy kids, everyone's trying to distract you. We can only do so much, or blokes anyway. Girls, I'm not talking for you. We can only do so many things until our brain reaches overload and I can't take on any new tasks. So if I need to focus on getting the lines, securing the fenders, watching the wind, etc., 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 pressing that button buys a lot of time and allows everything to settle down in my mind and secure and berth the boat safely. So those end of the day arguments are not there because everything was done in a manageable way. Offshore, solid, no rattles, comfortable, wet. It is wet. If you're going into the big steep waves, the short wave period, but I would expect that of any of the competition, which I'm going to name in a second, and I've driven just about all of them. So yeah, that is what it is. And inshore, very predictable, doesn't raise its bow too much. You can see you've got good viz all around, and it's comfortable. So yeah, this is really one of the best boats in the category in that respect. Quality, well, it's a Riviera. If you've watched enough of my videos, I believe this is one of the best build quality boats on the market, and few brands compete. So it really is carrying on with that tradition. Everywhere you look is very, very good. So what are the competition you could consider? You could look at a Princess V40. It's a little bit smaller, slightly different design. That's on my channel if you wish. There's another interesting one that's come to market. It's from Norway. It's the Marex 440. That's an interesting boat. Probably would compete with this. Doesn't have much in the way of representation in Australia, but it does, it does in Europe and America. The Sea Line C430, maybe. That's possibly one to consider. And if Nimbus did something of the same size, you could put them
close to a Riviera, but they don't have anything in this size category. The French brands, Prestige, no. The only thing Prestige about that is the name. So I don't really see any of those brands fairly competing with the Riv. There might be a couple of American competitors in there, but none of them come to mind immediately. So if you're wanting to do a bit of research, at least start there and talk to me on Monect if you're looking for some more information, because that's where you can find me and communicate with me. Don't jump into the DMs because I don't have time to get back to everyone. So I hope that was useful, guys. I hope that you got some benefit out of that, and you use this video to assist in your boat life, because that's why I'm doing this. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll pop up a competing boat on the screen right now for you to do your own homework. Love you lots. Coming to you from sunny Queensland, or cloudy right now, but you get the idea. See you next time.
Thank you.